Well, I said I was going to do a Buffy reboot video, and here I am. So, I heard about this the other day. I heard about this, and I read it up, and it said, like, they're saying, like, oh, that Joss Whedon's going to be bringing it back, and making a reboot, and that it was going to be, that they're going to have a black actress playing Buffy. I wrote a Facebook post about this, and I said that while I don't particularly mind a reboot of Buffy, or I don't particularly mind it, or that they're getting a black actress to play Buffy Summers in the reboot, there were two questions I had regarding that, and I had two concerns. One, I said, Joss, didn't you and Sarah Michelle Gellar, who, for those who don't know, played Buffy for 7 seasons on the show, didn't you and Buffy come to a agreement that you weren't going to Godfather 3 Buffy? That you weren't going to bring it back? That it had a good run? And that it was... I mean, the show had 7 seasons, 144 episodes, and, I mean, it was great throughout. Why are you bringing it back? And my second concern was, why are you bringing Buffy back when you have two other shows that you made that could be brought back or rebooted, and, or continue the story? You had Dollhouse, and that was pretty good, although that kind of sort of had an ending, so I guess there isn't really much reason to bring back. But you have Firefly. Freaking Firefly. And for the past, 16 years? 15, 16 years? Millions of people have been vocal about bringing back Firefly. And they're still vocal today about bringing back Firefly. So, what I'm trying to get is, why are you deciding on rebooting Buffy when many people who are Buffy fans, they were content with the way it ended. They were happy with the way it ended. If they wanted a continuation or something more, there are those tie-in comics that continue on the story from there. So, it just seems like you're just bringing it back. I mean, I don't know. It's like you're bringing it back just so you can score, like, diversity points or something like that. I mean, I'm all in for diversity. I'm saying that, like, I mean, it's just, I mean, if it's natural, if the casting is natural and she works, that's great. I'm just saying that, I mean, there wasn't any real reason to just bring it back. And I'm saying this again, I don't mind. I'm not being racist. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying that there wasn't any real unless it was a continuation, or, Buffy animated series. You could bring back all the actors then, because you wouldn't have to worry about them being older. They could still do the voices. You could do a Buffy animated adaptation of season 8. Maybe change some things up. Some problems people had with the comic. I honestly, I don't see why this needs to be rebooted, but I mean, at least, Joss is still involved with it, so it might be good. It might be good. I don't know how, even with the show itself, it's very hard to see Buffy, whether it's a reboot or not, it's very hard to see Buffy in a modern 2018 age. But that's all I'm going to say. I had said in my previous Iceman video that I posted just a little while ago, I had said about that this video would be polar opposite of what's been going on with the Iceman comic. And surprisingly, one would think that the SJW'S would be happy with this. They would be happy with, Buffy, like a Buffy reboot, or Buffy changing the race of Buffy in the reboot or whatever. But there's a lot of them that are pissed off about this. And that's surprising right there, because I figured that they'd be fine with it. But I guess since it's because it's like, if it was like a white man, they changed, like they did a reboot or something and they changed the race, they would be fine with it. And fans that would be upset about it, not because of the race change, but because like they wouldn't want a reboot or crappy writing, or just isn't going to be good, or it's going to ruin what made the original so great. Not because of diversity, but because it's already come out, or the original already came out and whatnot, and a reboot would just kind of sometimes ruin what made the original better. That, like, I guess since it's because, like, oh, a white woman, then it's them freaking out about it. And then, like, honestly, and then, like, them going, and then one of them, this Anita, whatever her name is, she's this big name, SJW, she was like, oh no, I'm screaming no, because of this, like, that they're changing the race of Buffy. And part of me is like, and people, well, not part of me, but other people were saying, like, that, well, I guess that's what you get for saying, like, anybody who hated the Ghostbusters movie, the recent one with all women, they attacked fans who hated the Ghostbusters reboot. People who didn't hate it because it was all women, but they hated it because it looked stupid, it looked ridiculous. The movie was, from what I've seen, very sexist towards men. And the men who hated it are the guys, or girls, there were girls who hated this movie too. But it's like, anybody who hated it, the SJWs would say, like, oh, you're racist, you're sexist, you're misogynistic, all this other crap. And oh, how things have changed now, because they're upset now because of them changing Buffy's race. And it's like, well, aren't you being racist or sexist or misogynistic? I mean, I don't know. I mean, part of me was like, this would be like the perfect way to get back at the SJWs, who kept calling, like, white men, and solely white men, even though there were people all across the map that, like, black men, white men, white women, black women, other races, and men and women who hated Ghostbusters 2016, who hated Star Wars The Last Jedi because of the crap that they were putting in it, and whatnot. And they go on Twitter. Not all of them. Not all people go on Twitter as SJWs. I'm saying some of these people. They go on Twitter and they go and say, like, oh, if you hated this, you must be, like, if you hated this, you're sexist, you're racist, you're misogynistic, you're a white supremacist or something. And it's just, when people go to a movie, they don't, and this is something that could be said for both political sides. When somebody watches a movie, they want to watch a movie to be entertained. They don't want to see identity politics or political agendas or SJW agendas or feminist agenda. They just want a good movie. If you have badass women, that is fine. If you have people of color, that is fine. Don't ruin that by putting, or if you want to have people that are like characters that are gay or bisexual or pansexual or whatever, that is fine. Do not make an agenda out of it. Do not have that be the sole point of the character you are making. I mean, that's just like one of the damn writers for Solo Star Wars Story a week before, from what I heard, a week before the movie came out, this guy went and said that he confirmed that Lando Calrissian was pansexual. And it's like, does that matter? Don't make a thing out of it. It doesn't, like, it's just, people just want to see a movie. It's just so crazy how, like, all this crap. And it's ridiculous that they go and say, oh, all these white men hated it. And I'm like, yeah, I hate it, but not because of the reasons you're saying. I hate whatever, because it was like, it was a shit movie. It was a shitty, ridiculous movie. And it's just, and it's like now, because as surprising the SJWs are hating this, and honestly, I don't, as I've said before, I don't particularly mind a black Buffy Summers. I just don't really care if this, I don't like the idea of it getting rebooted, because the original is a classic. It's like, no one in their right mind would make a Back to the Future 4. You have 3 movies, 3 great movies. They're classics. That's like the number one thing. You don't screw with the original. People need to be more original and make their own ideas and make them like stand out enough where they can be the new franchise hitters. And it's ridiculous. And it's just like, I'm not like particularly freaking out about this or the black casting for Buffy or anything like that. I don't really care if this gets rebooted. I don't care if this is coming back. 'Cause